Ministry of Finance October report reveals a positive future for the country. PNCR officially kicks off its election process to select its next leader. Tuschen Bar Owner assaulted and robbed amid closing. Suspect drops loot while escaping. In the region, Brazil deforestation, commitment to end illegal logging by 2028, and internationally, Sri Lanka floods. Dozens are killed and injured in heavy downpours. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Guyana may enjoy a bright Christmas as the result of a recent report by the Ministry of Finance that revealed that the current Natural Resource Fund, or Oil Money Fund, currently sits at more than $500 million in the U.S. Federal Bank. The Natural Resource Fund was established by the National Resource Fund Act 2019 to manage Guyana's natural resource wealth for the benefit of the people now and in the future, as well as the country's long-term development. The NRF available balance as of October 31, 2021 is over $111 million. While in opposition, Guyana's Vice President Dr. Barry Jagdeo promised to amend the oil fund legislation, which he considered was inadequate, and with the vast sum of money, the PPPC administration intends to change the legislation governing the NRF, which they allege will protect and insulate it from political manipulation. The law may be introduced by the end of this year if the administration decides to do so. The President of Guyana, Dr. Irfan Ali, stated that the fund tenets will be transparency and accountability. The National Assembly will approve expenditure after the legislation for the Oil Wealth Fund has been amended. Quote, "As you are aware, there are immediate needs that have to be financed. We committed that during the campaign, there will be no secrecy in revenues received by the country from our natural resources, especially oil and gas, and we have stuck to that commitment." End of quote. Additionally, the head of state stated that the government will soon create a balance sheet that the public could examine online to keep track of earnings and expenditure. Today, the People's National Congress Reform held its nomination day for the PNCR's 21st Biennial Congress, slated for December 11, 2021. The event was held at the party's head office, Congress Place, Sophia, and saw 3 candidates tossing their hats into the PNCR nomination ring in the hope of becoming the new face of the main opposition party. Opposition leader Joseph Harmon, PNCR stalwart Aubrey Norton, and Dr. Van West Charles, son-in-law of PNC founder Forbes Barnum, was among those seeking the leadership position. The candidates were all confident in their nominations and what they have to bring to the party if elected leaders.
First of all, I bring to the party leadership, I bring the fact that I have been involved in these processes since 2010. I have managed elections, I have managed the coalition, I've managed the APNU, I've managed the coalition, and I've been able to show, working together with a team, that we were able to move our coalition, our partnership, and our numbers.
I think I know more party comrades at a personal level because I travel the country and work with them. I think also the fact that while I was a senior government official, party comrades could have accessed me because I was all over and all around. And if you know the People's National Congress Reform, their supporters like to be in contact with the leadership. And that is why I said I will return the party to being a grassroots party, in which the people in the party are in contact with the leadership and the leadership in contact with the people. Apart from that, I think I am the most experienced politically in the bunch. And by political experience, I mean being involved at virtually every level in the party, the group, the district, the region, the central executive. And so, one, I have institutional memory, which a lot of persons don't have. And I think that also sets me apart.
Well, what puts me ahead is where I come to the table with my experience. My experience in terms of organizational development and management. And I don't think that their track records can compare with mine. So I am very clear, and as the campaign moves on, more will be unfolded.
The groups were expected to submit their nominations for chairman, vice chairs, treasurer, and 15 executives to their respective regional and district secretaries. Ganesh Mani Paul and Mortimer Mingo are co-chairing the accreditation committee that will review the nominations. Delegates will vote for their candidates on December 11, 2021, when the Congress is held. The main objectives of the three candidates is to unite the PNC party and emerge the winner at the next general and regional elections of the country. In this unfortunate news report, a 24-year-old pedal cyclist lost his life earlier this morning after he was knocked off his bike by a car on the Prophet Public Road, West Coast, Berbice. The dead man was identified as Neville Anthony. According to investigations, around 5:10 a.m., the driver of motorcar PTT 9673 Sandra Gittins of Rush Dam Friendship East Coast Demerara was driving east along the road at a normal rate of speed when she was blinded by the light of a vehicle approaching from the opposite direction, causing her to collide with the pedal cyclist who was riding west along the side of the road. The pedal cyclist was thrown against the front windshield and subsequently onto the road, suffering injuries to his head and body. He was picked up in an unconscious state and taken to the Fort Wellington Public Hospital, where he was seen and examined and pronounced dead on arrival. The driver is in custody assisting with the continuing investigations. Stick around after the break. Labor Union and Bosai signs Memorandum of Agreement, and Tuschen Bar Owner assaulted and robbed amid closing. Suspect drops loot while escaping.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
For decades, milk has remained the same, until now. Introducing the Great Dairy Full Cream Milk from Alabama Trading. Enriched with vitamins A to D and calcium to promote healthy teeth, strong bones, and vitality. Great Dairy Milk is delicious and fortified to encourage healthy cell growth within the body. No wonder it's the #1 brand of milk produced in Ireland. Now available nationwide in 400-gram packages at leading supermarkets and wholesale vendors. Distributed by Alabama Trading.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Welcome back. Today, the Ministry of Labor facilitated the signing of a Memorandum of Agreement between Bosai Mineral Group Guyana Incorporated and the National Association of Agricultural, Commercial and Industrial Employees. This agreement will see employees receiving wages and salaries increase, along with other benefits. It comes after multiple conciliation sessions supervised by the Chief Labor Officer, Mr. Tuschen Bar Owner, in an attempt to reach an amicable agreement between the two parties. Last month, the company's employees took strike action, which prompted the ministry's swift intervention, engaging both the union and the company. The meeting was held on October 22, 2021, and proposals were made by the Chief Labor Officer to bring the strike action to an end. This saw the signing of a terms of resumption agreement between the parties. The union agreed to call off the strike with immediate effect under the terms of resumption. Following the signing of that agreement, the ministry facilitated approximately 6 hours of conciliation. The signing of the Memorandum of Agreement today took place at the Ministry of Labor's head office in Brickdam, Georgetown, with representatives from both parties present. Meanwhile, Bosai has found themselves in another entanglement after a 30-year-old father of 4 who was employed with the Linden-headquartered Bosai Minerals Group for over a decade is suing the company for damages in excess of $85 million for severe head injuries he sustained after he was hit in the head by an object that became dislodged from a crane. According to the man's lawyer, Bosai Minerals Group has not accepted liability but has made a multi-million-dollar offer of settlement to the injured man. As crime continues on the rise, a 40-year-old businessman is left injured but counting himself lucky after he was attacked and robbed by a lone bandit with a cutlass at his place of business at Tuschen, New Scheme, East Bank Essequibo on Thursday, November 11th. Enquiries disclosed that around 8:30 p.m., the victim was closing his bar when the suspect walked in and told the victim that he wanted to buy something to drink, but the businessman informed him that the business was closed. The suspect then pulled a cutlass from his pants waist area and dealt the victim a chop to his right hand. He then pushed his hand into the victim's pants pocket and took away a phone and cash totaling $75,000. The suspect then jumped the back fence and made good his escape. However, he dropped the items in the process, which the victim recovered in the backyard. The victim raised an alarm and the police summoned. The victim was escorted to the Lenora Cottage Hospital, where he was treated and sent away. Investigations continues. Don't go away after the break. Brazil's deforestation, commitment to end illegal logging by 2028, and New Delhi pollution crisis, air and water quality worsening. But before that, here's the bridge retraction schedule.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized care, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. At Smart Minds, register for full-time or evening classes, daily practice pass exam papers for proficiency at the grade 2, 4, and 6 assessment, and CXE exam preparedness, or join our Becca Phonics reading and writing program. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
Good girl forget things.
Who's the
problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Survival Shopping Complex brings to you its delivery service, Shop through WhatsApp. This process is simple. All you need to do is call or message your grocery list to 613-9683 and we will select your items for you and have them delivered directly to you, even out of town. This is convenient because we can stay on the phone with you as we select your favorite brands. We're happy to do your shopping for you. Contact us on WhatsApp today and shop price smart at Survival Shopping Complex.
Kingdom-based taxi service, transportation for every occasion. Short drop, airport, weddings, funerals, and much more. We're located at Lot H. Durbin and Vicingen Road, next to Green City Bar. For honest, efficient, and reliable service, call Kingdom-based taxi service at 648-5959 or 227-7937. You can count on us.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. Brazil's government will accelerate its timeline by 2 to 3 years to completely eliminate illegal deforestation and illegal logging. Al Jazeera has more.
This patch of Amazon rainforest has been illegally cleared and prepared for burning. The main suspect denies all knowledge. Short of catching him red-handed with a chainsaw, there's little the environment police can do. The inspectors say they often feel their work is in vain.
It's difficult, it's tough. We're trying to preserve an area like this, in the heart of the Amazon, and when we get here, we see that people don't treat this nature with the affection and love that we have for our Amazon. We know that our future depends on this.
There are just 110 environment police and 20 inspectors covering an area bigger than Spain and Portugal combined. That makes Brazil's commitment to end illegal deforestation by 2028 look like a tall order. An estimated 11,000 square kilometers of Brazilian Amazon was cleared just in 2020, releasing hundreds of millions of tons of CO2 into the atmosphere.
Forests are moving from being net sinks of carbon dioxide to net sources. The Amazon is a sink, but land clearance here in the Brazilian rainforest means these areas are now emitting more carbon dioxide than they're absorbing.
And there's more pressure on the rainforest as the population grows and jungle is cleared for housing.
If the government does not have a public policy for the population, it is clear that there will always be this deforestation, which harms our forests and nature. This is painful because preservation is a historical struggle of the indigenous people. We are the ones who keep the forests alive and preserved until this day.
There are 62 cities in Amazonas state and a population of more than 4 million, with thousands more arriving every year looking for work.
Manaus and the neighbor cities are getting, connected more intensively in terms of urban development. So in the next decades, we will have a huge metropolitan area. At the local scale, urbanization means, for example, what we see here, the destruction of these urban rivers. And so it diminishes and it compromises the quality of the urban ecosystem.
The destruction of the Brazilian Amazon has intensified under the presidency of Jair Bolsonaro, a vocal global warming skeptic. So activists are waiting to see proof of his government's new commitment to cutting emissions. There's a long way to go if Brazil is to regain the position it once held as a world leader in reducing deforestation.
Internationally, environmentalists in New Delhi have accused the government of not understanding the link between the environment and public health. It comes amid a worsening pollution crisis in the Indiana capital, with air quality failing to improve and the Yamuna River foaming with toxic waste. Al Jazeera's Pavni Matel reports.
These images have come to define New Delhi's pollution crises. Hundreds of devotees are taking a dip in a river covered in thick foam caused by toxic waste that flows into it every day.
It is really dirty, but what can we do? We need to do our rituals and had to do them in dirty water. We can't do this at home and have to come here for the festival.
It shouldn't be filthy, but what can we do? People who are responsible are making so much money in the name of cleaning it.
The small stretch of the Yamuna that flows through Delhi is the main source of water for the city's 20 million people. It's also one of the most polluted in the world. The government has poured billions of dollars into cleaning the Yamuna, but it's still polluted and covered in foam most of the year. It's also banned people from entering the water, sent boats to clean out the foam, and set up barricades to stop it from reaching the banks. But critics say that this has done nothing to solve the issue, and now people have come here despite the stench and the filth. Meanwhile, the air quality in one of the world's most polluted cities has plunged to its worst levels this season. Much of it has come from neighboring states, where farm fires like these have been burning for weeks. Politicians admit their strategies have had little impact.
The biggest obstacle is that while Delhi government has a very aggressive action plan against pollution, we do not have any kind of a regional action plan mandated by the central government on pollution that holds all the North Indian states accountable for their actions.
Environmentalists have criticized the government for its approach to these crises.
Lack of political will, lack of bureaucratic will, and lack of urgency and correlation, understanding the link between public ecology and public health in our political and bureaucratic class is extremely important, and that is the main problem that makes our air toxic, our river frothing, and our forests disappearing.
Studies say air pollution costs billions of dollars every year and is one of the leading causes of death in the city. Millions of people are struggling while the government tries to find a solution. Pavni Mittal, Al Jazeera, New Delhi.
And finally, unusually heavy seasonal rains in western Sri Lanka have killed at least 25 people, while landslides have killed at least 5 others, officials said. But weather forecaster says the rains are expected to abate in the coming days. Al Jazeera's Maneli Fernandez reports.
Many parts of Sri Lanka have had more rains during the last few days than what they receive in an entire year. And this is the result. Vast tracts of land underwater, swollen rivers and reservoirs, and devastating landslides.
It started raining heavily about 7 last night, and this happened around 9:30. In the dark we couldn't do anything. It was in the morning we found the bodies.
The landslides came as suddenly as the rising floodwaters, catching many unawares. Here in Rambukana, one survivor said there was a sound like thunder, and then the hillside came sliding down, giving them just minutes to escape. The family in this house was not so lucky. A mother and her 2 daughters died, while the father is in a critical condition. The mangled debris of what was once their home, belongings scattered among the sludge, is silent. 17 of the country's 25 districts have been hit by the bad weather caused by a low-pressure front. Water levels rose up to chest high in some areas. For businesses battered by COVID slowdowns, the rains didn't help. Danish De Silva, who has a clothes shop in Negombo, an hour's drive from the capital Colombo, opened up his shop to this.
This time the water came in a very unusual way. There's normally a gradual increase in water levels, but this time it came suddenly and filled up the road like a river and flooded everything.
This hospital in Chilau in the northwest of the country is no exception, with patients marooned in flooded wards. Military personnel were deployed to rescue those stranded by the floods and help get people stranded to safety. Authorities say water levels are beginning to recede.
What is special about the rains is that when it rains, it does so heavily. Also, there could be strong winds and lightning. People must be careful. We expect the rainfall to reduce in the next 2 days.
With the monsoon underway, heavy rains are nothing new to Sri Lankans. But the current bad weather has not made life easy.
The rains are expected to ease in the coming days, no doubt bringing relief to tens of thousands of people who've been affected. But the risk of more landslides will remain. Binel Fernandez, Al Jazeera, Colombo.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. Tune in on Monday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.